Hey y'all, hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic today. It's Sea Salt here, and I'm back today with another Karuta guide video on an incredibly important topic that has probably been my most requested in the past week, and that is about dyes. Now before we begin, let's get on with our drop of the video. I know for a fact that this time, because recently, I don't know, my drops haven't been the best, so really depending on you guys for this one. Yeah, let's do it. And it's another trash drop, but it's fine. Still love every single one of you guys. So also wanted to give a little plug. Please subscribe and like down below if you guys haven't already. It helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm and would be really appreciated. 91% of you guys watching my videos right now aren't subbed, so please do if you guys enjoy the content. There's so much to talk about with dyes, and I could give you guys a whole rundown on color theory, the correct order for cosmetics for your card, and all that, but that video would just take way too long to make. So for this video, I'm going to be focusing on just how it works. It's a crash course on dyes, what they are, how to attain them, mystic versus normal dyes, and when to dye your cards. Now let's assume you're a fresh player with a zero understanding of what dyes are. Dyes are applied to a card for two main purposes. One, to make the card more visually appealing, and two, to increase the card's effort. Now, if you guys haven't watched my effort video yet, please make sure to do so before watching this video because this kind of delves into that. Now, there are two main types of dyes, a normal dye and a mystic dye. Mystic dyes are more rare than normal dyes and gives a lot more effort than a normal. A benchmark number would probably be around 80 effort increase with a mystic dye and a 25 effort increase with the normal dye. Your chances of pulling a mystic are 1%, so 1 out of 100 pulls you get a mystic dye. You can tell a dye is mystic based on its name. All mystics start off their name with the word mystics, normals don't. So let me just pull up my dye collection right here and just give you guys an example of a mystic dye and a regular dye. So this is a mystic, right? This is the dye code, KV, my dye code. This is a mystic. It says mystic splash of grenadine, and this is the mystic dye here. Now, a normal dye just looks like this. It's just purple pizzazz, and it doesn't have the word mystic. That you can see they look very different as well. Mystics generally have some sort of glow. Now, how do you obtain a dye? The only way to obtain a dye from the game itself is by buying it from the gem shop, which can be accessed through the command KGS, which I also explained in my last video about currency. The first option in this window is to buy a dye, and it costs 50 gems to do so. Here we'll go ahead and buy a dye for the purposes of the video because you guys got me as well, so I'm not worried. Simply type K buy dye to buy a dye, press this check mark, and afterwards a dye will be automatically added to your inventory, which is sort of like a dye box with a random dye inside. Now, after the dye box is in your inventory, you can then use the dye. The command KUse dye, or KU dye is what I usually put, uses up the box and shows you the actual dye that you have received. So go ahead and press that, and okay, ta-da! And you have your first dye. This is now added into your dye collections. Congratulations. Now, to explain this window a bit. Right now, the dye shows up on the right side. This is the color of the dye, how it looks like. The name is on the left, Jacko. I don't know how Karuta chooses their names for the dyes. It's kind of funny. There's some weird, really weird and really unique names. Anyways, it's followed by the owner. This is me, so I own this dye. There's a unique a dye code, just like every card in the game, that is only attributed to this specific dye. So no one else in the entire game has this exact same dye as you. Now, the part that follows is incredibly important. Charges. Every time you open a dye box, the dye that comes out is charged. After applying this dye on your card a single time, just one time, the charge will be used up. After typing KV on the dye again, the charge number is going to be 0. Take this for example. Let's just practice dyeing some cards so that you guys understand how it works. To dye a card, simply type K dye and then dye code and then card code right after. So let's actually just pull up some cards here. Let's see, what do I need to dye? Alright, let's try Phil from Promised Neverland, right? This is the card code for Phil. So like I said earlier, to dye this card, K dye, and then you can use card code or dye code, doesn't matter which one goes first. So K dye and then the two codes, and we're just gonna put the dye in her, and boom, you see that? You see how the flowers on the top right are followed kind of this color, right? It's like orangey red, and the bottom left, it just turns a lot more beautiful, makes the frame a lot brighter. It makes the card a lot more visually appealing, and it increases the effort. So now this is tricky because dyes work differently on different frames. So a bright blue dye, for example, on one frame might look completely different from the same dye on another frame. Now let's take this dye for example. If we use this on, let's say, my Ken, I don't know how to say his name, which is a Nightcrow frame, which is kind of notoriously famous for being dye stubborn. It's totally different, right? So that's the code for that. Put the same exact dye, the dye we just got, Jacko, and it looks different. You see how like it only applies it on the left and right side. The colors aren't exactly the same. So the dye is always going to look different depending on the frame. So this is why you always want to frame a card before dyeing. Another thing to note, typing the K dye command doesn't really actually apply the dye to the card yet. It just gives you a preview how the dye will look like on the card. That's why so many people do dye tests. You essentially test a bunch of different dyes on one card code, and then the person can see which dye or what they like the best, and then afterwards you can choose what dye to buy. There are a bunch of different things that go into a dye test or dye rentals and all that, but I'm just going to leave that for a different video because it's kind of a lot. Now let's actually apply a dye to see what happens, right? Back to my film, I'm going to copy this card code or this command again. Let's do this. Let's type up its effort window right now. Let's pull it up right now, and we'll see a difference before and after, right? You can see how his style is only a B65 and a total effort of 298 effort points, right? If we finally dye the card, you can see the difference afterwards. So we're gonna go ahead, K dye that, right? Press the check mark, bam, the card is down. The card is now dyed. Congratulations. Just check out this beautiful baby. KV views the card. Just a warm up reminder. You can clearly see the dye snake around the frame, and it adds just so much into it. It's not the best example, but it will work. Now let's pull up its effort window now, right? KWI is followed by the card code, pulls up the effort window for fill, and bam, now it's 320, increased by what, 22, right? And the style increased all that as well. And now you've dyed your first card. Now let's get into what happens to the dye itself after you dye a card. To view the dye information again, just KV the dye code, like we said earlier. So I'm gonna do that, and you can see now the charge is 0. That's because you just dyed the card and you used up 1 charge. You cannot dye using this dye again at this very moment. Let's give it a try actually. I wonder if you can just do this command again actually. So you guys can see, right? It lets you view, even if it's uncharged, it lets you view how it looks like. But once you press check mark, it says the dye has no more charges. So it's not going to let you dye another card with the same dye without refilling it. Now, how do you dye again on a different card using the same dye? Well, you're going to have to refill it. Type K refill in the dye code. Sorry. K refill dye code to refill a dye. To refill a normal dye, it costs 3 droplets. To refill a mystic dye, let me pull one up from my collection. To refill a mystic dye, it costs 30 droplets here. Okay. In order to get a droplet, you have to burn a dye that currently already has a charge in it. So if we burn a dye here that currently doesn't have a charge in it, all it does is give you KB, it just gives you a glass. So the dye has to be charged in order to burn it into a droplet. For example, I'm just going to pull up one of my other charged dyes. Right, let's burn this really quick. Burning a charged normal dye here gives you 1 droplet, and then burning a charged mystic dye, right, gives you 10 droplets. So that's how you get droplets here, right? Now, what is glass used for? Glass is obtained by burning a dye, regardless of whether or not it's charged. So you can burn uncharged dye for glass, right here. You can then combine 3 glass into 1 bottle using the command K buy bottle. So let's type in the command K buy bottle. I think I have enough glass, maybe not. Okay, let me burn some random uncharged cards from my inventory right now. Okay, got it here. So I'm gonna burn all these uncharged normal dyes to give me 3 glass, right? So you can then K buy bottle, use this command to buy a singular bottle. Then you can use K buy bottle. Sorry, let me press the check mark. K use bottle to open up the bottle. This is in all purposes the same thing as opening a dye, but the dye that comes out of a bottle is uncharged as opposed to charged for a regular dye box. But you still have the chance to open a mystic from a bottle. Now, when you guys eventually turn into dye only players that play for inventory and not cards, which is what everyone ends up doing, you're gonna end up with hundreds of dyes. How do you check what dyes you own? The command KDC opens up this window, which in Discord is absolutely horrid. The colors are inaccurate and all that. It's just hard to go through 500 dyes 10 at a time. So you have to press this thing called Web Interface. I'll take you to a website just to show you guys right here. This is the website here. I'll take you to this window, and here you can find a list of every dye that a person owns. This is my personal dye link. Now the default order is by date, but you can also order it by name, color, code, or just reverse and all that. You can also use a combination of different metrics, so you can choose mystics that are uncharged. You can choose like normal that are charged or uncharged, stuff like that. So you can have play around and get different metrics for each. And it's very accurate. The colors are very accurate in the web interface as opposed to the Discord interface, so you can accurately see every dye that you or someone else owns. The circle icon in the bottom left of the square shows whether or not it's charged. If it's filled, then it's charged. If it's unfilled, then it's not charged. And to copy the dye code to your clipboard, simply click the dye, and it's copied to your clipboard, and then you can Control V, KV, to type the dye code out and paste it out. You can also switch it to burn here by burn command. You can switch it to burn and then click ones that you want to burn and copy this burn command to burn it. And it's really easy to do that. So it's super simple to burn all your unwanted dyes. That's pretty much it for this video. I think I covered most of how to get dyes, how to use them, and I hope it helped a lot. A lot of people have asked me what a dye job is, and that's just too much for all this information in one video, so I'll make it in another. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.